with a shock of salt and pepper hair, dark brown eyes, and a charisma that came off him in waves. Today, though, I thought his face looked unusually florid, with small beads of perspiration dotted across his high forehead. He retrieved a bottle of pills from a drawer in his desk and knocked back a couple, dry. "Blood pressure," he said. Then he reached for the monogrammed silver cigarette case, but Margot snatched it out of his grasp. "You just told us you had high blood pressure." She turned to me. "Did you know that smoking is totally illegal in Beverly Hills, even outside? Don't look at me like that, Evie. The minute I started running, I gave up just like that." She snapped her fingers. "I haven't smoked for years." "Is it hot in here?" Nigel got up and opened a window. A blast of freezing cold November air whipped up the papers on his desk. "Not anymore," said Margot. He slammed the window shut. We fell into an uncomfortable silence as he swiftly reorganized his documents. He really seemed on edge today. Margot's iPhone pinged an incoming text. "Sorry, L.A.," Margot said apologetically. "Won't be a moment. Talent issues." "She's a film producer in Hollywood," I said. "I need to handle this immediately. Excuse me." Margot stood up and disappeared through the door into the outer office. She was dressed in a tight, plum-colored leather jacket, skinny jeans, and Louboutin ankle boots. I noticed she'd become very thin. I also noticed that it made her boobs seem much bigger, and for a moment wondered if she had actually had cosmetic surgery, something she swore she would never do. "What's the time in Los Angeles?" Nigel mused. "It must be 7 in the morning." "Margot works all the time," I said with pride. "Ah, the American dream." "But I must apologize. She can be a bit direct." I took a deep breath and ventured. "Is it true about possibly losing the house?" "I'll do everything in my power. You know that," said Nigel. "Robert was a law unto himself. He liked to take risks, and you know that once his mind was set on something—" He shrugged. "He would listen to my advice, but never take it." Nigel was right. Robert's harebrained money-making schemes had always been unpredictable, but somehow he always came up trumps. Until now. Nigel was the only friend from Robert's old life that he'd brought with him to his new life with me. Nigel had been our rock in a year that Robert called his annus horribilis. It wasn't just the tragedy at the safari park. There was also the catamaran company that was lost to a fire and turned out not to be insured, and, most recently, a property development deal that was doomed when the investors discovered the land was on a Superfund site. And yet, Robert had never seemed disconcerted. He always bounced back, saying, "You win some, you lose some." He had been the eternal optimist. As I sat there in Nigel's office, I just couldn't believe that I would never see Robert again. I felt as if this were all a bad dream. The door opened, but it was Sherry, Nigel's assistant, who poked her head inside. "Mrs. Chandler wanted privacy," she said in a croaky voice, pulling the red and gold woolen scarf tighter around her neck. Married with a 10-year-old son, Sherry was in her early 40s and had worked for Nigel for years. Nigel often said that she was the worst assistant he had ever had, but that she made him laugh. Robert once told me that she and Nigel had had an affair. I found that hard to believe. With long, straight hair draped around her face and large, round glasses, Sherry was nothing like the numerous socialites Nigel often brought over to dinner. She was a bit of an enigma. "How's your cold?" Nigel asked. "Getting better," she said, and added a dainty cough to prove it. "The hot toddy you made me at lunchtime really helped." "Is that a Harry Potter scarf?" I asked. "It's Gryffindor." "Jerry knows everything about Harry Potter," Nigel teased. "Me too," I said. "I'm a huge fan." As we waited for Margot to finish a phone call, Nigel and Sherry made small talk.